What's up, guys? Oh gosh, Leotis here. And before you skip this video, I promise you this is not one of those corny vlog videos where I'm explaining, oh, this is what I do in the morning. I wake up and make a breakfast. Nah, this is not one of those videos. This is me explaining the day I switched over to Ableton from FL Studio. One day, I woke up feeling like I needed change. Wasn't sure what that change was going to be, but I knew I would figure it out as I go through my day. My days usually go the same. I get up, freshen up in the bathroom, go to the kitchen, make a coffee, cook some eggs. Sometimes I even make some Eggos. And I get my day started with some music. I open up FL Studio and I get to cooking. I've been using FL Studio for 14 years now, and I feel like I know like the back of my hand, but this day felt different. I've accomplished a lot using FL, but because of that, it started to feel like work. I no longer felt like that 15-year-old kid that discovered FL and just wanted to make music for the fun of it. And I really wanted that feeling again. On September 24th, 2021, I visited the Ableton website and I sat there and contemplated if this was the change that I needed. Now, before I bought it, I went back and forth with myself and was like, maybe I don't need it. Maybe it's just an off day. Maybe this is just, like any other Monday. I don't know if it was a Monday, but it felt like a Monday. Was this the change that I needed? Was this going to get me out of my creative rut? Am I about to become the person I hated, which was an Ableton user? I'm kidding. I didn't hate Ableton users. But yeah, this is the day that I switched over to Ableton. Now, I'm going to get into a few things that kind of locked me into Ableton. And one of the first things that you see, obviously, when you open up Ableton is the interface. Now, at first, it was intimidating opening up Ableton for the first time and just seeing this super blank canvas and like not knowing where to go at first. But once you start using it for like an hour or so, you start to realize that it's actually easier than it seems. I also like how ergonomic and futuristic it feels. And it's just clean, and just being able to change the feeling and of how it looks, as far as like you can do like different color schemes with your Ableton and stuff like that. It just feels intuitive, and getting it to match the vibe of your studio or match the vibe of how you create. I'm a very bright person. I would say, like, everything in my room, as you can see, is white, and it just feels open in here. Like the sun is always coming in, and I was able to match that vibe with Ableton. So the interface, flawless. It's perfect. Another thing that really caught my attention was how you're able to edit audio in Ableton on the playlist. The playlist is mad intuitive. Like, whatever your mind is thinking as far as editing audio, you can do that. Like, there's no boundaries. Just using audio in Ableton is just way easier, and it's way easier to organize your sessions. So yeah, playlist is super fire. Another one of my favorite things in Ableton is the automation. So if anyone has ever done any type of automation in FL, it can get really messy really fast. If you don't pay attention, you can really get lost with the automation. But in Ableton, it's just so organized and way easier to use. Like, as soon as you click a parameter, once you're in automation view, you can edit accordingly to how you want to do it. Yeah, it's just way more organized. I think mainly because of that is why I probably won't turn back. So yeah, automation is super fire. So mixing Mixing, I would say at first was a little tough. I feel like if you're not paying attention in Ableton when it comes to mixing, you can easily mess up the way your session sounds. But I will say that it did make me a better mixer when it comes to making beats or even doing full-on tracks. I feel like everything in there is very sensitive and true to sound whenever you're even using a stock compression or stock EQ, saturation, whatever it is that you're using in Ableton. So getting a good mix in Ableton, I'm not going to say it's hard, but it's honest. The last thing I want to talk about is the plugins actually in Ableton. The plugins are actually really good. And even if you use any third-party plugins of any sort, just being able to organize your plugins the way you would like to organize them, like the possibilities are endless. You can use so many plugins on your chain and just create something wild. Yeah, just editing in there when it comes to your plugins is just super easier. You can pretty much just get exactly what you want. Ableton just gives you a lot of tools to work with. As far as the plugins go, there's a whole lot more I would love to talk about, but I do want to leave Ableton as a mystery for you to find out. You go ahead and grab a demo of Ableton and you let me know what you think and if what I said is valid to you. So with that being said, is Ableton better than FL? I don't know. I'll let you guys decide that in the comments down below. You let me know what you feel about Ableton compared to FL and vice versa. I don't have an answer. But what I will say is that everything that you can do in Ableton, you can also do in FL. It's just different processes and different workflows. You can still make beats. You can still create full-on songs. You can still score to film. Me personally, it's just way easier to do it in Ableton. I think it goes for really any DAW. Like, things are going to be easier to do in certain DAWs, whether it's FL, Ableton, Logic, Pro Tools, Cubase, whatever. But Ableton is just my DAW of choice these days. And I'm just explaining my experiences with you guys. Let's stop the Ableton and FL Studio war. You can use it all, because I use it all. Ableton is my DAW of choice. That was why I switched over to Ableton. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like this video if you like what you've seen today. I'm gonna go ahead and make some beats and get it cracking. I'll catch y'all later.